I'm Jeff Ruble. I'm the Director of Economic Development for Richland County, and we're a small office, but we're dedicated to economic development here in Columbia in this market. So we recruit industry, we help existing industries expand, we market the region, market this area, this county, and we do it nationally and internationally. So we work with companies across the board. I think entering the pandemic, we all kind of were predicting it would just be awful, that we wouldn't see any visits. Most companies, when they make decisions, they show up, they fly in, and with the pandemic, we didn't think nobody would travel, so we just assumed the worst. 2020 was our best year ever. I mean, we had a $638 million in capital investment, and then this past year was our second best year ever. So I guess you just can't predict the success we've had. This past year we had close to $360 million in capital investment and more than 1,400 new jobs. And that really is outstanding for a year when we still didn't have a lot of folks traveling in, not a lot of international companies visiting. The real strength of that was a lot of major expansions. So we've had a few big ones. For instance, BlueCross, BlueShield announced more than 700 new jobs over the next 5 years. And that's continued growth from really kind of the cornerstone of our economy, but one of the largest employers in the market. In May, we announced a Tyson Foods plant, and that's kind of a feel-good story. So Tyson had shut the facility down. They had lost a product line, they had laid everyone off, people had gone on unemployment or moved on to new jobs, and then they came back in and they reopened the plant and invested more than they ever had before, so over $50 million investment. And then they hired back 350 people, and they opened a new product line, and they hired people back from the old operation, but they're paying a substantially higher, so it's just a really positive story for that plant. And then later in the year, in December, we announced a Westinghouse expansion. Again, they have 900 employees, but there was a major investment of $131 million. So those are some of the highlights, some of the big numbers. We think the real backbone of the economy is smaller mom and pop or small to medium sized businesses. A couple of those that expanded were noteworthy, I think. IMCS is a small company that started in the USC incubator. It was a couple of guys that had graduated with chemistry degrees at USC. They started a biotech company, and it has now expanded any number of times, I guess 3 or 4 times. But this latest expansion, they bought a new facility, and they are hiring more folks. And they're becoming sort of a national leader in their work. It's developing enzymes. And another company, AvonTech, again, a startup local. It was a couple engineers that went out and started their own business. But what they do is they engineer and design and actually build wastewater and water treatment systems. And what's fascinating is they do it all over the world. I asked them about their work. I said, can you design a wastewater treatment system? And they said, we think we did that in New Zealand. Well, I think we can do one here. So it's fascinating that they're serving the whole world from this market. Or from this community, it sounds like they're going to continue to grow. So those are just a couple of examples of good companies that are growing locally. I guess one of the big trends in economic development has been away from just recruiting companies that hire people, and it's been toward attracting and retaining talent. That is, the theory is if you get a bunch of smart people in your community, then the companies will find you. That's a big challenge in a lot of places in the U.S. In fact, in some cities in the Midwest, they're actually offering bonuses for people to move there. I guess we're just in the opposite position here in Columbia. We have 55,000 college students, roughly. We have Shaw Air Force Base, we have Fort Jackson, McIntyre, all those, the big transition centers are at Shaw and Fort Jackson, but they're turning out soldiers on a monthly basis anywhere between 60 to 80 a month at each of those institutions. So between the soldiers and the college students, I think we're the youngest county in South Carolina. We are in an enviable position. I mean, a lot of communities want to have what we have, which is young, energetic, smart people. So that's really the top asset that we can market as we go out and sell this community.